Hi everyone, I'm Ross, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to cover off what I'm working on in my golf game in the off season. So jumping into the top of the bag, one of the key things for me for the off season is to build my swing speed back up. So my swing speed prior to this season was sitting at around 180 miles an hour. Through lack of practice, a few injuries, that's decayed. So that's down about 114, 112 on the bad days. So chasing that speed again, trying to get back up towards 120 with a plan to try and hit 120 next season. So what I'm using is a swing speed trainer. So this one is from Swing Speed Golf. So it comes with 3 weights at the top, which are interchangeable. So there's 100, 150 and 200 gram weight. Swing Speed Golf comes with its own program. It's part of the pack that's printed. So what I'll do is I'll be starting using that, and as some of you might have seen from my shorts, I've started that speed journey again. So I'm on stage 2 at the moment, which is the 150 gram weight, with the 100 gram being the initial one. But what I'll do is once I reach the end of that journey, I will then be using Ripstick Golf. They've got an app that's free to download and use, which you can use with any speed trainer. So anyone that's looking to chase speed, I recommend getting that app. It's free, you just have to sign up, but there's no cost involved at all. And as I say, you can use any swing speed trainer along with that, not just the Ripstick Golf swing trainer. So as well, in top end of the bag for driver, as well as chasing that speed, one of the things I'm looking for to work on as well is what's called the X Factor. So it's where you get your lower half turning first with your top half falling behind, almost creating an X shape. So to chase that, part of the work on that is to use a set of alignment sticks, one across the belt loop, the other one in the arm, just working on trying to get those angles. So chasing that as well, because my bad shot at the moment is unfortunately off to the right. So trying to work on that as well as making sure I'm keeping my face to path at a negative angle and just closing that face down. In terms of irons, what I'm really working on at the moment is attack angle. So I've got a couple of cheap solutions for that and a few more expensive solutions. So jumping into the cheap side, my key problem with attack angle is making sure I'm moving that weight to the left and getting quite negative for my swing speed. I've really got to get between 3 to 5 negative on the attack angle, so it's 3 to 5 on the down. So really trying to shift that weight forward and left. So for me, key thing there is just to shift that weight. So cheap option, half a tennis ball. You do get pressure pads that you can buy off Amazon and other places as well to actually feel that shift in weight. But what I found as well is a couple of tennis balls, cut them in half, put them under that lead side, gives you something to feel that you're stepping into. And if you feel that you're swaying off as well, it's something that you can just keep under that heel to see, do you actually get up and out of your swing. Along with that, I've also got an impact board. So idea is basically for chipping, you want to be making sure you're past this point. For pitching, and then for a full swing, you want to be making sure that you are catching this side. It's also got, as you can see, a few points there, so you can put the alignment aids on it as well, just to make sure that you're not pulling your swing either too far left or too far right. Works better on driver. Personally, I've not used it much, but it is there if you want to use it. It comes as part of the kit. The other thing I've got as well is an impact mat. So it's good for training indoors and out. This is the outdoor one. There is an indoor one as well, a bit of Velcro that you can Velcro to the floor. As you can see, it's had some use. It's definitely something that I found useful in the summer months. And again, in the winter with the hard ground, depending what the ground frost level is like, that will be getting some use as well. In terms of the more expensive options to help with that, I have got a few bits of tech. So I've got Hack Motion. So with hack motion, that is more making sure for me that I am working on my face angles, making sure with my irons I'm not shutting that face down too much, causing that low left shot. So using that to help with that and work on that and keep maintaining those angles. But for me, that's more for working for my putter. I've also got D-Wiz. So D-Wiz I've found has been really good for working on my plane angles, as well as it does help measure club head speed. It's not always accurate all the time, but it does pick up reasonably, probably about 50-60% of the time of what my actual club head speed is. But it's also good for working on length of backswing, which has also helped me chase speed through my driver. Again, for irons, the other things I've kind of got as well is Zep Golf. So this isn't bad, but what I found with Zep is it's actually much better for putting and better for tempo of the golf swing. It's not really giving me much benefit at the moment working on attack angle, but it has helped me in the past more around tempo. And Blast Golf, again, much better tempo trainer. It does give you attack angles and things, but I just don't find them very accurate. So again, two of them I've found much better for full iron tempo training, much better for putter tempo training. But again, everyone will find these different, and some people will see bigger benefits than others. The main thing that I've been using in my practice is the Garmin R10. I found this really, really good outdoors. Not so much in the winter months in low light, and not so much indoors at my range, just because of where the overhang is. Again, if you aren't connecting this up, I do recommend getting the Titleist balls that do go with it. You get more accurate data, and again, it's more for an indoor sim environment, I would say. If you don't want to be blasting those balls away in the range, they're very, very expensive. But again, I found that is quite good on course and at my outdoor range, not so much the indoor one. But again, that's really helped me work on my numbers. Not as accurate as your GC quads, your GC3s and your TrackMan, but good enough to give you a basic understanding. Doesn't always pick up the shot shape as much as I would like, but it's picking up my attack angles and things fairly consistently. Sometimes it's overreading, sometimes it's underreading, but again, for value for money, for a piece of kit like that, you're not really going to get as accurate as your GC quads and your TrackMan, but good enough for training. The other thing I've got that I've not found great in terms of training, but for a bit of fun, friends and things, is this Fi Golf. So Fi Golf comes with a small handheld makeshift golf club, but it also comes with a sensor, and the sensor you can put into your own clubs. I have tried that in my own clubs. It's okay, it's not that accurate. I'd say it's more of a bit of fun with friends and a bit of fun for practice. I wouldn't take it too seriously from the data there. It's not good, but it's not bad. It's not as accurate as things like your Garmin R10 or even things like your D-Wiz and Hack Motion. In terms of chipping, for me, a lot of it is just continuing to work on target practice. So small back garden target. Again, this one's just a super cheap Slazenger one. You can get more expensive ones, but again, it's just something to throw up in the garden, chip off the mat, bit of practice during the winter season. I also have got Me and My Golf target tool that I got for a recent present from someone. So again, I'll use that as part of my chipping practice, and that should hopefully help improve chipping for next season. It's always a bit of a game that everyone neglects, more than they should. But for irons as well, one of the other things I've got just to keep working on throughout the year is some impact tape. So again, this is just a cheap Amazon buy, just to make sure that I'm catching it where I want in the club face, and I don't need to go and check things like my line angles or my alignments, just to make sure that they are where I want them to be ahead of next season. Putting, again, as I kind of talked about, Hack Motion, Blast Golf, probably the two key things I'll be using, but I'll also be tying that in with Putt Out. So Putt Out, for those that don't know, essentially it's just a putt return. So perfect putt is where you would catch it in the middle there. So be using that along with the Putt Out mat, which I've got set up over there. But I'll also be using two types of balls to help with that. So the one is just a cheap alignment ball, which will hopefully help me get a bit of idea how my roll is. Is it steady? Is it straight? Is it rolling? Is it skidding? I do use a Cobra putter, as we've seen in some of my other videos, with a sick golf face with a descending loft. So that helps me reduce the amount of skid that I do get, gets the ball rolling faster. But with that and tied in with this, it really does help me just dial in that a little bit more and make sure that I am actually addressing the ball how I want from impact. The other thing I've got as well is a Putt Out Devil ball. And so these come out as a pack of 2. These are probably the most frustrating thing you'll ever come across in golf. It literally gives you the best feedback in terms of how you strike a golf ball with your putter. Because realistically, if you hit this, it's got a small rectangular square like surface on one side, which I don't know if you'll pick up through the camera. But basically, if you strike that with either slightly open or slightly closed face, it embellishes how the ball will roll. So you can significantly miss target with this in comparison to a normal ball. So the difference between the two of them, that one, using the putt out, it might go up the ramp, be slightly off to the left or right. With this ball, you could completely miss the putt out altogether. So it really does give you instant feedback on how you're connecting your putter with your ball. The only other real thing for me that I'm continuing to work on is target as well. So that's adherence to where I'm hitting. So I'm finishing left, I'm finishing right, as well as working on my distance control. So 2 bits of tech for that, one more expensive than the other, sadly. I've got just a cheap Amazon laser, which I put against family members' super expensive lasers into the hundreds of pounds, and I'm typically 1 yard out compared to their several £100 for something that cost me roughly £45 off Amazon. So that's helped me with distance control, actually lasering every shot, focusing in, making sure that I'm selecting the right club, and if I'm short or long, making sure that I'm then reviewing what I deem as those carry distances, those total distances, to make sure they are accurate. I'm also using that combined with Arccos. So I've got Arccos connecting all my clubs, so it's really good, especially in the summer. It really gives me a good idea of how far total distance everything's going. Only problem I find with Arccos is it doesn't give you carry, but typically with my clubs, due to my speed and my spin, I know I'm only really going to get difference between carry and total, unless it is absolutely rock hard outside. It's only going to be 1 to 2 yards. So I know if my total is there, I'm usually 2 yards off. That will give me my my total for my top end clubs, and for those at the bottom of my bag, I know that my carry and my total are almost the exact same. If anything, I get excess spin and I actually lose distance into a par 3. I don't think there's anything else for me to cover really in terms of this, in terms of what I'm working on. If you guys have got any questions, queries, any advice on what I should be working on in the off season, what you're working on in the off season, and any advice you can give me or I can give you guys, please drop down in the comments below, and see you in the next one.